About 50 million people in America smoke cigarettes. 42% of all adult men, 31% of all adult women. They bought 538 billion cigarettes last year at a cost of nearly $9 billion, supporting farmers, manufacturers, distributors, and advertisers, and adding more than $4 billion to the tax revenues of federal, state, and local governments. Cigarettes are also a costly health problem felt in the United States and around the world by the victims of lung cancer, coronary heart disease, emphysema, and related diseases. A young man who smokes 2 packs a day on the average may lose 8 years from his lifespan. The problem started about the time of World War I, when people began switching from pipes, chewing tobacco, and cigars to cigarettes. This change was important because cigarette smoke was mild enough to inhale, and because women, who had not used a significant amount of tobacco previously, began to smoke when cigarettes became popular. Lung cancer, once a relatively rare disease, began to appear more often in the population, especially among men who were heavy smokers. Laboratory scientists began to look at cigarette smoke. They found a number of substances in cigarette smoke which could produce cancer in test animals. Clinical and autopsy studies of human smokers showed a comparatively higher incidence of various kinds of respiratory system damage and abnormalities, including cell changes that are thought to precede cancer. Finally, in 1964, scientists put the story together in the Surgeon General's report. The verdict was that cigarette smoking is dangerous to health for several reasons. Cigarette smoking is the most important cause of lung cancer. Lung cancer is a quick, usually fatal disease. More than 64,000 people will probably die of lung cancer this year, most of them heavy smokers. Cigarette smoking is one of the major coronary heart disease risk factors, which also include high blood pressure and elevated serum cholesterol. Itself a risk, smoking makes the other risks more serious. A middle-aged man who smokes 2 packs of cigarettes a day is 3 times more likely to die of coronary heart disease than is the non-smoker of the same age. Emphysema and chronic bronchitis is the third disease group associated with cigarette smoking. Unlike lung cancer, emphysema and chronic bronchitis are long, lingering diseases which progressively reduce a person's ability to live a normal life. But serious illness after years of smoking is not the only danger. Impaired respiratory function appears in many smokers after only a few years of smoking. Smoking is a form of personal pollution. The smoker regularly exposes himself to large quantities of irritating gases and particles of substances known to cause cancer. If smoking is so harmful, why do people smoke? There are many reasons why young people start smoking, but whatever these reasons are, it is not for the pleasure that the cigarette produces. You have to learn to like cigarettes. After people have started, their reasons for continuing are more complicated. People who smoke cigarettes regularly have learned to like them for reasons that have more to do with their own personalities than with any effect the cigarette has. Some people smoke to feel good, some to feel less bad, some people to have something to do with their hands. Some people smoke out of habit. Some people are psychologically addicted to cigarettes. Behind all these reasons for smoking is the fact that the use of cigarettes is freely permitted and even encouraged. Many parents and many teachers smoke. Cigarettes are energetically promoted by advertising. Knowledge of the harmful effects of cigarette smoke has produced some positive changes. Since 1964, cigarette consumption has actually gone down after about 50 years of steady increase. About 30 million smokers have quit. The problem of cigarette smoking is frequently overshadowed by the illegal drugs of abuse. Since cigarette smoking is legal and socially acceptable and doesn't lead to antisocial behavior, it is different from other forms of substance abuse. You have to learn to like cigarettes. You have to learn to depend on them. Doctors never prescribe cigarettes, and there is no way to use them safely. Smoking doesn't produce a high. For many people, it doesn't even produce much pleasure. It does carry the risks of serious illness and a shortened life.